Hello everyone, let us continue to solve questions from bearing and distances at easy, okay? So pay attention. The question says, a surveyor leaves her base camp and drives 42 kilometers on a bearing of 032 degrees. She then drives 28 kilometers on a bearing of 154 degrees. How far is then from her base camp and what is her bearing from it? Okay, so now let us say that the base camp of this lady is here, the base camp, and this lady drives 42 kilometers on a bearing of 32 degrees. So from north, we now imagine our bearing 32 degrees. We now imagine our bearing 32 degrees from north going clockwise direction. So here is 32 degrees, okay? We now travel up to 42 kilometers and stop, okay? And change its direction. Now stop here and change the direction, okay? She then drives 28 kilometers on a bearing of 154. She now changes direction on a bearing of 154. From our north side to east, 90. To south, 180. Okay, now we don't need up to 180, we need 154, okay? So 154, 90. What we add to 90 again to make it 154? We add 64. So 64 should be here. Okay, so all this place is 154 degrees. So how many is remaining here? So 26 is remaining here to make all of them 180, okay? So this person now traveled 28 kilometers in this second journey and stops, okay? Now stops at this place. Now the question is asking us, how far is the lady from her base camp? How far? This is where it has stopped. How far is she from her base point? From here to here, how far? So let us name it X, okay? Using for us to find how far this lady is from here to here, we will now use cosine rule. Cosine rule, which says this side squared equals to addition of these two other sides, multiply by, okay, let's say from here, x square, which we are looking for, equals to addition of 42 square plus 28 square minus 2 times 42 times 28 cos of the whole angle, which let us call it cos of capital X, okay? That is all angle that will be here, all of them. So we have known that this one is 26, making it 180 degrees. We have 154. The remaining one is 26. Now, how do we get here? We can get it by alternate angle. Alternate angle here, go up here. So here will be equal to this angle. Reason alternate angle 32 degrees. So all of them will be how many now? 58 degrees. Okay. So we now have 58 degrees. Please watch I have videos on angle on a parallel line. That is where I taught all about this alternate angle. And I also have videos on cosine rules. That's why I taught this separate. So you can watch them for you to know what I am doing here. We have x squared here equals to 42 squared is what? 1764 plus 28 squared is what? 784 minus 2 times 42 times 28 is what? 2352 times cos x, which will be 50 now, which will be 58, okay? Cos 58 is what? Cos 58 is what? Use your calculator. 0.53. Now let us start adding. X squared equals to this plus this. 1764 plus 784. 2548 minus this times this will give us what? 1246.56, which is equals to this minus this will give us what? 1301.44. No, this one is squared already. We now find square root of both sides, which will now finally have x equals to square root of 1301.44, which will now give us what? 36.1 kilometer. That is the distance. And again, the second part said that we should find the bearing of this lady. This is where she is now. So they say we should find the bearing of this lady from the base point. So the bearing will now be from north to touch that line that will lead us to where she stops. So they are now asking us here. We have known from here to here, which is 32. So we will now find inside here, and when we found it, we'll now add it to here to now give us the bearing they are asking us. Okay. Now, how do we do it? We can now use a sine rule to do that. Okay. Now, using this sine rule, we now have sine theta we are looking for all over the side facing it, which is 28, equals to, we can make use of this one, okay, or we make use of this place. So let us make use of this one and have known the angle and the side, which is equals to sine 58, we know, all over the side facing it, which we have calculated to give us 36.1. So when we cross multiply, we now have sine theta equals to 28, this one times this, 28 times sine 58. Sine 58 is what? 0.0235 all over here, because this one times this will now be all over 36.1 when we cross multiply, when we want to find this one, okay, and equals to, when we multiply out, this times this divided by this will give us what? This times this will give us 0.658 over 36.1, and when we divide by 36.1, will now give us 0.1823. Sine theta will give us 0.1823. Then making theta subject of formula, which is the one we are looking for, we now have theta equals to sine inverse of 0.1823. Please use your calculator, and when we find the sine inverse of this, what will be the final answer? Is now equals to 10.5 approximate, okay, degrees. So the angle here is, this angle here is 10.5 approximate. Now, but they are now asking us the bearing, which is all of them. So the bearing of that lady now will now be 32 plus 10.5, which will now give us what? So the bearing of the lady now, okay, will now be the 32 plus 10.5, okay. The final answer will now be 42.5 degrees. That is 42.5 degrees. Okay, so that is how to solve it. The distance here is 36.1 kilometer. Then the bearing of the lady from here, which will start from here to touch the line, is 42.5. That is how to solve it. And thank you for having patience to finish the video. May God bless you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share it. Thank you so much.